Welcome back, movie buffs. If you've ever wondered what happens when a CIA cryptographer is forced to play an assassin, this movie is for you. Today, we're diving into the heart-pounding 2025 thriller, The Amateur. If you thought decoding messages was quiet desk work, think again. But before we unravel the web of secrets, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss any of our deep dives into the most gripping films. Now let's dive deep into this movie. In a quiet garage, Charlie is busy restoring an old plane, a birthday gift from his wife, Sarah. She walks in, reminding him she's heading to London for a business conference. He quickly makes coffee for his wife as she prepares for her trip. She gently asks if he'll come along, but he declines, citing a backlog of work. Later, Charlie heads to CIA headquarters. He quickly has a chat with a colleague, the Bear, and heads to his department. After clearing a series of security checkpoints, many of which he designed himself, he settles into his office in the decryption and analysis department. Suddenly, a familiar message pops up on his screen. It's from Inquiline, a mysterious contact who's been feeding Charlie classified intel for years. This time, Inquiline warns him, the files could jeopardize the entire CIA. Charlie takes a stab at guessing their location, suggesting Istanbul. Inquiline avoids the question. Charlie digs into the documents but quickly realizes even a genius like him can't crack the encryption. After lunch, Charlie goes back to cracking the encryption. He gets a call from Sarah confirming she's landed safely in London. He already knew he's been tracking her. Their chat is brief, he's anxious to return to the mystery files. Unable to make headway, Charlie takes his computer into a high-security lab to leverage more advanced tools. Finally, the files decrypt, and what he finds is stunning. Top-secret records revealing that a drone strike had been disguised as a suicide bombing. A covert mission authorized and covered up by his boss, Chief Moore. News footage confirms it, 150 dead including Allied troops. That evening, Charlie tries calling Sarah. She doesn't pick up, so he leaves a voicemail. The next morning at work, Moore calls Charlie into the office of the new director, O'Brien. She shares devastating news. There's been a terrorist attack at a London hotel. Sarah was one of the victims. Charlie struggles to accept it until Moore shows him footage of the attack. 4 terrorists, 4 hostages, 2 dead. One of them is Sarah. Back home, Charlie is swarmed by reporters. A friend helps him sneak inside. Later, Charlie confronts Moore and Caleb, another supervisor. He suspects something's off. How could the terrorists bypass London's surveillance net and escape traffic? Moore claims they're investigating while Caleb advises Charlie to head home and get some rest. The next day, Charlie goes to the airport to receive Sarah's body. When Sarah's body is returned, Charlie finds a wrapped gift in her suitcase. The sight breaks him. He returns to work and uses restricted tools to access hotel and street surveillance. He pieces together a timeline. The terrorists hijacked a car in East London, entered the hotel through the service corridor, wiped all forensic traces, and met with Indonesian investors. Things went sideways, shots were fired, and they took hostages. Sarah was captured while helping others escape. Charlie identifies the attackers. Mishka from Moscow, ex-South African operative Laurence, mercenary Horst, and ex-Intel officer Frank Gretchen. But Caleb and Moore show no surprise. They already knew. Instead of taking action, they send Charlie to see a therapist. Knowing Moore is trying to cover up something, Charlie begins his next move. He hides a chip in his ID, bypasses security, prints classified files, and uses a magnetic strip skimmer to copy them. That night, he sits in a bar staring at a jukebox. The next morning, Charlie storms into his boss's office, with printed files in hand. He lays it all out, accusing Moore of orchestrating dirty missions, like bombing a hospital in Syria and launching a deadly strike on an Allied base in Yemen that left thousands of civilians dead. Charlie reveals he's triggered a dead man switch. If he doesn't enter a code every 5 hours, the files go public. In exchange for silence, he demands CIA training, fake IDs, cash, weapons, and intel on Sarah's killers. After the meeting, Charlie makes it back to his car, barely holding it together. The moment he shuts the door, he throws up, overwhelmed by the stress of what just happened inside. Moore suspects the dead man switch is fake. Not willing to take chances, Caleb plans to verify this and then have Charlie eliminated during training. They analyze how Charlie copied the files, eventually discovering he used a printer skimmer. Surveillance confirms he bought a magnetic stripe reader and may have hidden something in the bar's jukebox. They head to the bar to check things out and notice an ABBA CD tucked beneath the jukebox. Curious, Caleb selects that same album from the jukebox menu, but instead of music, all they hear is static. That's when they realize the CD Charlie left behind isn't just for show, and they pull it out. Meanwhile, Charlie begins CIA field training with Colonel Henderson. He fails at shooting but excels at bomb making. Henderson drills his new identity into him under intense pressure. Despite Henderson's doubts, Charlie insists he's committed to justice. Henderson challenges him to shoot him but Charlie can't do it. At headquarters, analysts crack Charlie's CD and confirm the dead man switch is a bluff. But Charlie planted a bug in the files, overhearing everything his superiors were planning. Moore calls Henderson to arrest him but Charlie has already escaped. Moore notices the bug in the files and confronts Charlie, telling him he's committed treason. Charlie quietly removes his earpiece and heads for the plane. He flies to London under a fake identity and moves on to Paris. But what Charlie doesn't realize is, Henderson is quietly trailing him. In Paris, Charlie stalks Gretchen. He gets a hotel room near the restaurant where Gretchen often goes. When she finally shows up, he gets close enough to track her phone. Then he waits outside her building all day until she leaves. He picks her lock, searches her flat and finds her medical records. He goes through the pictures in his hotel and finds out that she has severe allergies. He tracks her to a hospital and, posing as a doctor, traps her in a chamber filled with pollen. Gretchen starts feeling weak from her allergies, and Charlie tells her he'll help if she tells him where Horst is, since Horst is the one who shot Sarah. But her allergies make it hard for her to speak. Charlie opens the chamber to help, but Gretchen suddenly shoves him into the desk. They get into a fight, tossing each other around the room and crashing into furniture. Charlie pulls out his gun, but Gretchen knocks him down. She escapes, and during a street pursuit she's hit by a car. Charlie retrieves her phone and flees the scene. Acting fast, he packs his things and buys a ticket for Marseilles. News of Gretchen's death reaches the CIA. Moore is vague and O'Brien grows suspicious. She asks Moore about the incident, and he only says that it looks like someone from their team killed Gretchen. Haunted, Charlie drinks alone and mistakes a woman for Sarah. Finally, Henderson catches up to him but Charlie quickly escapes into a bathroom. There are no windows so Charlie has no choice but to come out. He sits with Henderson at the bar and finds out Henderson tracked him through Gretchen's phone. After a brief conversation, Charlie shows him a timer on his phone and quickly runs out, just before a bomb goes off in the bathroom. The bar erupts into chaos and Henderson loses track of Charlie. The phone tracker stops working too. Charlie then heads to Istanbul to meet Inquiline in person, a woman. She explains her past. Her husband, the original Inquiline, died while working as a CIA double agent. She took over his work. Now she's helping Charlie track Horst, Laurence and Mishka. Horst is the one who hires mercenaries for Moore. Laurence is an arms dealer, so Inquiline offers to pretend to be a seller to get in touch with him. Then there's Mishka who travels a lot and shares everything online. They look closely at his photos and spot a woman with him. A quick facial recognition search leads them to her Instagram, and confirms she's in Spain. The next day, Caleb tells his team to watch the terrorists closely so they can find Charlie. Meanwhile, O'Brien meets with Moore and tells him to stop running secret missions without her approval. Moore says her predecessor gave the same speech but assures her she has his full support. After the meeting, O'Brien gets into her car. Her assistant shows her a photo of Henderson in Spain. She finds out Moore sent him, so she decides to send one of her own agents after him. Charlie finds Mishka in Madrid and learns that Mishka loves to swim in a pool that connects two buildings by their roofs. Charlie follows him to a rooftop pool and confronts him. He threatens to shatter the pool unless Mishka tells him where to find Horst. Mishka doesn't believe him and tries to escape. Charlie presses a button that cracks the glass, sending Mishka to his death. Then Inquiline warns Charlie that Henderson and another agent are getting close and tells him how to escape. A chase begins and Henderson nearly catches Charlie. But just then the other agent attacks Henderson, and the two of them start fighting in the laundry room. Charlie watches as they throw each other around, and Henderson shoves the agent's head into a washing machine. The agent pulls out a gun and shoots Henderson, but Henderson grabs the gun and shoots him back. Charlie watches but flees the scene before they see him. O'Brien brings Moore in and questions him about Charlie. He claims Charlie's just on bereavement leave and she lets him walk, though she's already sitting on hotel footage. Elsewhere, Caleb and his team study the same video and spot signs Charlie wasn't working alone. They dig into his encrypted chats and uncover messages from someone named Inquiline. After digging through old files, they realize the real agent is dead, and suspect his wife stepped into his place that night. Charlie and Inquiline fall asleep side by side for comfort but are jolted awake by her bird's loud screech. Security cameras show agents closing in fast. They run through a hidden tunnel in the wall. Outside, Charlie sees a drone overhead. Ducking into another building, They slip away and leave the area just before agents raid the house. The computer automatically wipes everything clean so there's nothing left for the agents to find. After a sprint down the beach, they reach Inquiline's car and they're seen by the drone. The agents catch up quickly, firing at them and even chasing by boat. After a long, intense pursuit, they hit the car hard enough to stop the chase, but Inquiline is badly wounded. With no time to waste, Charlie slides her body over and takes the wheel, driving until he finally shakes them off. Later, he hides the car in a garage and says a quiet goodbye to Inquiline. The next day, Charlie reaches out to Laurence, posing as an arms dealer to set up a meeting. He grabs new gear and heads to an old building in Romania. There, he records himself and hacks into a security feed in Berlin, tricking the CIA into thinking he's in Berlin. When Laurence shows up, he hears a phone ringing on a chair. He answers it. Charlie tells him to check the box nearby. Inside are several bombs, and a photo of Sarah. Charlie warns him not to move or they'll go off, then steps out from the shadows, asking for Horst's location and promising to disarm the bombs if he talks. Laurence says Horst is based in Russian waters and usually picks up shipments at a Baltic port. When Charlie asks how to reach him, Laurence explains Horst only gets coded messages from his men. All the names and codes are on his phone, which he tosses to the floor. Charlie grabs the phone and walks away, then hears the explosion as the bombs take out Laurence. Not long after, the CIA learns about Lawrence's death in Romania and realizes the footage they've been tracking is fake. Charlie heads to Russia. At the port, he notices a suspicious car, sends the code meant for Horst, and sees a man near the car check his phone. Charlie tails him, snaps photos of his boat and slips away. Back at his hotel, he buys tools and runs the boat's registration number. He traces it to a yacht and starts studying the possible sea routes Horst could be using. The next morning, Charlie moves in on the boat, but someone sneaks up and knocks him out. He drops Sarah's puzzle, her final gift to him. When he wakes, he's aboard the yacht face to face with Horst, who's already found the bomb Charlie planted earlier. Horst points out that he knows Charlie killed his partners indirectly and doubts he has the balls to kill anyone face to face. Horst hands Charlie a gun and tells him to pull the trigger, but Charlie can't do it. He sets the gun down. Suddenly, the yacht shifts course and the crew starts to panic. Charlie reveals he's hacked the system. Since the yacht is CIA-owned and he helped build its security, it was easy for him to take control and reroute it to Finland. Moments later, the Finnish Navy and Interpol surround the yacht and arrest Horst and his crew. Later on, O'Brien holds a press conference, announcing the takedown of rogue agents who had been abusing CIA resources. As the dust settles, Henderson walks up to Charlie and tells him he's proud of what he did. With the bad guys gone, Charlie visits Sarah's grave, then returns to the garage. He takes the plane she gifted him into the sky, finally free. And that's a wrap on our breakdown of The Amateur. What do you think about this movie? Drop your thoughts and reactions in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this recap, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss our in-depth movie analyses and thrilling reviews. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay tuned for more edge-of-your-seat content.